Good morning. I'm Storm Tracker 8 meteorologist Jacqueline Waters here for another episode of Weather University. And I think you could all probably guess what this episode will be about. It's going to be all about how much rain we've gotten so far in July, and not just for our area, but for a lot of the country. It's been very wet, and then our rain chances for the rest of the month, basically, because we are now on the top 10 wettest. There's a sneak peek of what I'll show you. The top 10 wettest Richmonds on record, and we do have a chance to go higher in that list. But these are basically the flash flood warnings overlaid onto a map. And you could see not just the East Coast, but we had a lot of flooding across the entire country this month, and it's been very devastating. Unfortunately, we all know about the Texas flooding, and you could see zooming in there, they've had a lot of flash flood warnings come out in the Texas area, but also even making our way up to the north. Well, I guess this is like the Midwest, the Ohio River Valley. A lot of flash floodings near Chicago, Indianapolis, south of Indianapolis, Kentucky, Tennessee, and the Northeast. And of course, here in Virginia as well. We've had our fair share of flash flood warnings come out. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of flooding on the roads. And I'm sure not just myself has seen it, but I'm sure a lot of us has seen it when we were out and about this month as well. So I know this is a little bit a lot going on this graphic, but the main point I want you to take away with this graphic is we've had a lot of rain. And we've seen a lot of flash flood warnings come out, which it's always good. The National Weather Service down in Wakefield issues our watches and warnings. And warnings, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, they happen before an event to hopefully warn you. So we like when the warnings come out because that gives time for people to prepare. Even though sometimes it's a short period of time, usually that watch is ahead of the warning, which gives you more time to prep. So we've had a lot of flooding across the state, and the good news is we have less rain chances this week. But the good news is also we're not in a drought. So that's certainly definitely great news. And also if you see me looking down, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any questions. So feel free, if you have any questions, to write them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them. But we have no drought. That is great news. You always got to look at the bright side of things. And yeah, at least we have that going for us. But obviously, when you get a lot of rain in a short period of time, it causes other issues. And just zooming out, not just our state in Virginia, but pretty much a lot of the East Coast, which is where a lot of those flash flood warnings were in that first slide I showed you, is not in a drought whatsoever. But then when you get to the West Coast, usually we see droughts this time of year out there, and that's where we're seeing more of those deep reds, and that's that severe, extreme drought situation. So yeah, we've been wet, and we are going to see less rain. So I wanted to pull up this first before I show you where we rank on that top 10 list. And only, I believe it's 7 days, 7 days at the Richmond International Airport did we not see any measurable rain. Now, even though, yesterday, 0.00 inches, we didn't see anything at the Richmond International Airport. You may have seen rain at your house. And the last few weeks, we've been forecasting that scattered, isolated risk of storms, and that's that summer-like pattern where we can't exactly pinpoint where the storm's going to pop up, but where that storm pops up, and it's very slow-moving, it's kind of just stagnant over you, that's where we get just tons of rain. So although, last Tuesday, Richmond International Airport didn't pick up any rain, you may have seen an inch or two at your house. So that's something to keep in mind, especially as we head later into the summer months. We just have that risk of hit or miss showers and storms, I like to call it. But so far this month, 10.37 inches of rain, which puts us on that top 10 list of wettest Julys on record. And this is for Richmond. So this isn't for Petersburg or Ashland. It's just for Richmond. And that's a lot of rain. So usually in July, we have 4.37 inches of rain. And you can see, we have no recent years on there. So the most recent years, it looks like 1975, where we had 12.29 inches of rain. But that was several years ago. Number one, 1945, 18.87 inches of rain. So if we get another 8 inches, which I will say I'm not highly confident we will, which is good, then we will reach that top number. So we don't want that to happen, but it's not looking likely. I think we will go up a little bit more in the list, maybe a few more inches, an inch or two, really depending on where those storms develop and sit over you. But I mean, it's definitely been very wet, and I know we're all looking for some drier days, and I do have it in the forecast, so that's good news. And so far this month, I mentioned, just to go back here, I mentioned in a normal July, 4.37 inches. That includes the entire month of July. So it's July 21st. Usually July 21st, so that includes July 1st all the way through July 21st. Usually we only see 2.78 inches of rain this time in the month. And we've seen 10.37. That puts us 7.5 inches above normal for the month. So, I mean, we're running well above average. So far this year, we've seen 36.61 inches of rain. Usually this time throughout the year, so usually when we start to reach the end of July, we see 24 to 24.5 to 25 inches of rain. And that puts us 12 inches over normal. So not only has it been a wet month, it's also been a wet year for us in Richmond. The good news is, because we all need that, less rain chances this week. So we do have that isolated risk of late day storms once again today, and then drier conditions Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, less humidity. And then it does look like that risk of isolated storms moves back in our forecast for the upcoming weekend. But just to show you what to expect today, we're seeing a mixture of sun and clouds. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s, so still a pretty warm and humid day. And then we will have that risk of isolated storms moving in. And we have that humidity out there, so can't rule out a quick heavy downpour. Not expecting any real flooding concerns. I can't say it won't happen, but a lot of us will likely stay dry. So it's not that scattered risk, and I'm not expecting to see as many issues as what we've seen last week. So always stay weather alert, stay weather aware, and keep a watchful eye to the sky, but a much less risk this afternoon and evening. So just those isolated showers and storms moving in. Be careful on the roads if you're on the roads later today. And then tonight, those showers and storms taper off, and we are looking at a beautiful Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and even Friday. So that humidity will drop, the clouds will clear, and we're looking better. But just to show you, this is our the model that goes out the furthest. So this is the GFS for any of those weather enthusiasts listening. And it shows us getting about, I mean, it really depends on where you are, a quarter of an inch to an inch of rain when all is said and done by really the end of the weekend. So hit or miss. I really don't like to show a lot of rainfall accumulation maps when it's those hit or miss showers and storms, because it really depends on exactly where they pop up. But just to show you, we're not expecting several inches of rain, and that goes all the way through Sunday. So again, today, have the rain jacket, have the umbrella if you don't want to get wet in the rain, because we all have the risk of a few isolated late day storms. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we could finally put it away. Maybe bring your bathing suits out, go to the pool, get the sunglasses out, enjoy the beautiful conditions with less humidity, cooler temperatures closer to seasonable, but then the very hot and humid conditions return for the weekend. So mid-90s Saturday with that isolated risk of storms. Sunday, low 90s, late day isolated storms, and also Monday. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. And that goes out the next 8 days because we're channel 8. But going out all the way through the rest of the month, which I believe is July 21st, so there's 10 more days in the month, we are looking at a wet pattern. This is compared to average. So we're looking at wetter conditions compared to normal for the rest of the month, and also hotter conditions compared to normal. That averages basically all those days. So July 27th through July 31st, and compares it to our climate norms. So it doesn't really take in any exact numbers, what our forecast is showing, but just to show you, we're expecting to be wetter and warmer through the end of July. And that is all I have for you today. So I don't think I see any questions. But yeah, just be careful in any rainstorms that pop up later this afternoon and evening, and enjoy the beautiful weather Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I just want to say a special thank you to all of you guys who have been tuning in to all the Weather University episodes. If you haven't heard, I am leaving Channel 8 Wednesday, so I'll be on air all the way through Wednesday, but this will be my last Weather University episode, so thank you all for tuning in, always your nice questions, and I'm going to go before I get emotional. I love you guys. Have a good one.